Good morning, good evening, good day, everybody, and welcome to Froggy Friday. We have a beautiful day, a beautiful celebration and sharing today. I'm going to be sharing today a talk title. It's time to acknowledge our past, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. Our beautiful Reverend Gwen expresses her gratitude for all of us being here together as she shares time with family today. So it's beautiful that she'll be able to do that, but she sends her love and her well wishes. We have our beautiful shining stars, Michael, Patrick, and maybe Wilgus are going to join us today to be in service, our practitioners. How is everybody today? Let me see you. How is everybody today? It's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm reeling still. It has been 3 weeks tomorrow that we returned from Kenya, and I'm still on cloud nine. And I know Reverend Pat Davies reached out yesterday and said, "Come on, let's do this debriefing. I want to still ride this train as well." And I know that everybody else is doing good. Is Oh my goodness, is that you, Christine, under Patricia's phone? I've been watching you, girl, on Facebook all week. Happy International Women's Day to my beautiful sisters in the audience. And I recognize our beautiful men who support and uplift us and hold us there as well. So how beautiful it is to see everyone. And Lamech, I see you're on as well. How wonderful. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to do it today. We've got a beautiful message. We've got some beautiful information to share of things that are happening in our community. So I just want to lay down that foundation like we do with all things. And I want to invite Michael to open us in treatment as people are coming in and bouncing in. And then I'd like Patrick to take us into that sacred place of reflection where we can just come together and embody. And then I'll ask Nancy, who just signed on. Hello, Nancy and Lady T. So good to see you. If you will sing your song after as we go into treatment and meditation. So, Michael and Patrick, take it away. Welcome, everybody, to this sacred moment.
Thank you. And allow me to keep my camera off so that we save on some bandwidth. And yeah, let's relax into that space, into that knowing that there is only one God, one life, one awareness. And that is all there is, and absolutely nothing else. There is only one life, one infinite power, one divine loving intelligence that knows itself by means of me and by means of everyone and everything in this universe. And it's true for everyone who is here on this Froggy Friday. Everyone I see here on Froggy Friday, I see the expression of the divine power making itself known. I declare for everyone who's receptive to this word that we immerse ourselves in the awareness that we are that oneness, alive as spirit. We know it. And through this Froggy Friday, we awaken to the infinite possibilities that are open before us. We claim our divine inheritance this day. We say yes to that power. We say yes, that is moving in and us by means of each and every was right here, right now. We say yes to greater love. We say yes to peace. We say yes to higher knowing. We say yes to abundance. We say yes to vitality and health. We allow ourselves to be what spirit has in mind. And we express that truth boundlessly by the means of our lives. And from this point forward, our lives are changed at depth. Our thoughts are clear. We are energized. We are orderly. We are energizing. We open our hearts and open our minds to this truth in that our lives are divine in purpose and divine in direction. Spirit dissolves and dissipates anything that's unlike itself, anything that would block or hinder this divine unfoldment is dissolved and dissipated into the nothingness from which it came. So here and now I say, all is good, and the good is mine. I give loving thanks for this good. I give loving thanks for this gathering. I give loving thanks for every person represented here. I'm grateful for this and so much more. It is done perfect, whole, and complete. I let it go, and so it is.
And as we continue to recognize and know that there is only one power, one love, one everything, we take a deep breath and rest in this knowingness, in this oneness, in this one power. We take a deep breath and feel relaxed even further as we feel the particles of air through our nostrils into the body. We breathe in love because that's all it is. We breathe in love, we breathe in peace, we breathe in abundance. And as our bodies, every part of our body relaxes further, we don't fight, we don't compete with any thoughts that are contrary to what we are, but we just let them pass. As we relax further into this awareness, and with each breath that we take, we move closer and closer to that place of peace, that place of love, that place of joy, that place that knows nothing but good. We relax further and find ourselves fixed, wallowing in timelessness. The feeling of right here and right now, that nothing exists except now, except God, except joy, the place that has everything in it, all possibilities, the place that is timeless, the place that has no yesterday, no tomorrow, except now. The now of joy, the now of peace, the now of everything good. The now that is right here, right now. The now that knows not tomorrow, that knows no yesterday. because everything is merged into this state of all possibilities. As we take another deep breath and feel this nowness silently for a couple of minutes. Let's enjoy the peace that is now for a couple of minutes. Yes, we breathe in this eternal now. This is the eternal now where God resides, where I reside, where you reside. We take another deep breath as we travel back in time. We feel our bodies, we feel our environment. When we are ready, we are back to right here and right now. Namaste.
Thank you, Patrick. Nancy, I'll invite you to sing your song now. I don't want to miss it. It's so beautiful, if you're willing.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know.
Mm. Thank you, Nancy. How sweet your voice is on this beautiful day. I just want to recognize everybody here as I close my eyes and come out of the meditation and I open up and I see all your beautiful names. It makes me hot and I'm excited to be here with all of you. Thank you for giving your Friday. Some of us are in midday, some of us are in morning, and some of us are at the end of our day. And it means so much to me that you are here with us to share in this beautiful thing that we call life and community. So let's open up like we do. We've laid down those beautiful spiritual practices of treatment and meditation. Can we sing together? Let us be one voice. You guys know this song and how beautiful it was for me to sing it with all of us and have you stand up and sing it at the conference. It was so powerful. Everyone who was a guest knew this was our song. Here we go. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one, we are one, we are one people. Ha! One strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Let me see those spirit fingers. When it's all said and done, we are one, one. How beautiful it is. How beautiful it is to see everybody's beautiful, bright, shining faces. Oh my goodness. So welcome to Froggy Friday. I have the great honor of sharing with you this day, and I wanted to talk to you today about acknowledging our past, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. And I want you to know that when we acknowledge it, our past, the good, the bad, and even the ugly, when we do that, we begin to disentangle ourselves from it. In other words, we begin to see it for what it truly is. And friends, I want to tell you, it's time to forgive and release old patterns that no longer serve us. Yes? Yes? Can we just say something together? Can we do a one sentence affirmation together? And I just want you to repeat after me. Can we do that? Okay.
Yes.
You don't have to unplug, just in the comfort of your own heart. Repeat after me. I release the past.
I release the past.
And claim a higher, happier experience
And
of
claim a
life
higher,
today. Happier experience of life today. Yes?
happier experience of life today.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I want to invite us to install a new practice, a new script, so to speak. What if we stop saying, but I've always done it this way? What if we changed it up to, up until now, it has a little different feel. And I know we talk about this all the time. It has a little different feel, doesn't it? I submitted an article in January Science of Mind magazine about the Grand Rising. And what I wrote in this article was, when we greet one another, we acknowledge a willingness to recognize one another. I see you. When we recognize one another, we're acknowledging acceptance. I accept you. And when we accept one another, there is a sense of unity and belonging. I am you. We sing it. I am one people, one strong heartbeat. Then we begin to raise this global consciousness every morning when we awake. And it's then that we choose to have this grand rising together in God. In Kenya, we greet each other and we say what? Jambo. And we say karibu, which is welcome, because we embrace and open our hearts to one another. And when we do this, we raise the consciousness of our spiritual community, our cities, our villages, our townships, our homes, seeing and accepting and creating a sense of belonging. It's how we acknowledge a new day, a new beginning, a new way to say thank you, life, for another day of being. Yeah? Spiritual fam, if we are truly to step into that grand rising that I spoke and wrote about, we must be willing to embrace a new way of experiencing and expressing ourselves. This week, this moment, this second, I'm inviting us to seize the day and embrace its unlimited possibilities and potentials. When we acknowledge our past, the good, the bad, the ugly, those, imagine an octopus, tentacles of restriction coming at us, they no longer have a hold on us. When we release our need to have to figure it out, when we let that go and invite our inner guidance to lead us into new territory, it's then that we begin to ground ourselves in the truth of who we are and our vision. I love this. Our vision of who we are becoming. That's when the good work starts, friends. When we let our vision of who we are becoming saturate and inform our every thought, word, and action. So, people, this is our journey, our sojourn, our adventure, our safari, the pilgrimage back to self. It's not about a destination. We talk about that, right? We each with our life experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that work goes on. And then that practice, it deepens. And when we set the intention to stay conscious, and when we set the intention to live from love, just like Michael said in his treatment, just like Patrick said in his meditation, and just like Nancy sings about, I am opening, be still and know that I am God. When we live from love and continue to embrace infinite possibility, the past don't matter, friends. What he did, what she said, what he said, they left me, my parents abandoned me, they hurt me, used me, abused me. All of that's not going to matter. When we set the intention to stay conscious and live from love and continue to embrace the infinite possibilities, trust me, the past becomes your fuel if you let it. To be more, Michael Beckwith says, to be more and never less than who you were meant to be. It's time. It's time to forgive and release old patterns, even those that used to work good for you, if they no longer serve us. Listen, in my past, nobody, and I mean nobody, could run faster than me leaving a relationship for the fear of being abandoned. I always left before I was left. You feel me? Can anyone relate? When I began to change my old, I've always been the first to leave. Those always now begin with a new script. I began to replace and substitute I've always been with up until now, my experience has been I'm the fastest runner on the block. I'm just saying. But now I fill it in with something better. And I know I'm capable of trusting myself because I know myself. And I know myself because of this teaching. The Buddha taught, let me just pull this up. I want to say this. The Buddha taught that attachment was the root of all suffering. When we honor our past, friends, when we honor our past, we learn from it. That's what I want you to know. Without attachment or resistance, we can freely move into our future. Ernest Holmes says, I don't need to look at this because I know a principle is bound by precedent. That's become a science of mind catchphrase that serves us so well, although it might be time to start changing some of the language. What works for you? Jesus said, with God, all things are possible. And as religious scientists, can we please add, all things are possible in us, as us, through us? Hello. Friends, when we lean into these truths, we open to unlimited new possibilities, to accept a bigger, fuller, more joyful, abundant life. I'm just looking at all of you and just loving you up. You know, as divine beings, we're equipped with egos, but we're much more than our egos. And maybe you've never even heard of this tiny little thing called the ego. As I look around, if you haven't, let me tell you how this 3-letter word can have such a huge impact on our lives. Our ego protects us by carefully logging and categorizing all, not some, all, not a few, all of our past experiences, judging them as positive or negative, and establishing beliefs and behaviors based on the information to help us safely navigate our present world where we are today. So we can say thank you to our ego, actually, because survival's good. But we need to remind ourselves and our ego that it's a tool. It's not our identity. Our ego works overtime, like I said, cataloging, categorizing all of our outer world for us, building habits of thought and action and reaction that continue to run subconsciously until we choose to investigate them. At best, the ego, it contributes, these thoughts subconsciously contribute toward our comfort, like I said, and our survival. For an example, I don't need to think and rethink how to cross a streetlight every time I approach a stoplight. I don't need to think about how I cross a street. That's the best. At worst, man, that ego fits us into blinders, limiting our view to narrow our confines of our previous past experience. Now we can expand that field with a few questions like, maybe you recognize this question. I'll ask Karen and Michelle. Questions like, what if? Karen, what if? And questions like, can I imagine? Or my favorite is, can you consider a possibility? We know this because we teach it. And it's such a powerful, powerful tool. There's a philosopher called, maybe you've heard of him, George Santayana, something like that. And he said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. We don't have to remain prisoner in our own life, friends. We can acknowledge our past and heal it with 3 simple words: up until now. Up until now, and claim a better good, a higher experience of God's good for ourselves today. The most impactful human inventions and discoveries have been brought about and born out of curiosity. I love people who are curious. The most creative individuals in every field, in my opinion, have not only been willing to think outside the box, but they have celebrated every mistake, every setback, every dead end along their journeys, grateful and happy for the gifts of information and insight that that brought. When we relax into that truth that we are safe and spirited and held in the hands of grace. I always think in songs, and that what came up to me for now. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. That's what just came up for me. When we relax into that truth that we are safe in spirit, even as we explore new territory, friends, we can let go of our fear of being mistakes, of making mistakes, of having mistakes, and the courage to be curious. It inspires us to step out of those old limits and embrace new and larger now, today. Good morning, good evening, good day, whatever that is for you. Now listen, both and positives apply here. We've talked about some old negative stuff that needs to be releasing, but everything said applies to old positives too. Everything that I said applies to the things that used to work too, because creation is not static. Energy flows constantly into new forms and out again. Sometimes we can get stuck. We can hold steadfast to old attachments to things, like perhaps ideas, processes, relationships, rules that are changing and dissolving from underneath us daily. And it happens without our permission. So we need to be aware. A business. I was talking to a friend yesterday. And another friend who, this is all in 1 week, who got fired. They got let go. You know, it could be as simple as your favorite food is no longer tolerated by your body. Let's talk about milk intolerance. I love ice cream. More trivial. Every time an app, every time an iPhone calls me or texts me and says I'm installing a new upgrade, I put it off to the last minute. Anybody else? Anybody else do that? Because I don't want to have the learning curve of a new program in my brain every time. So we've experienced a lot over the past few years, and the pandemic pushed us into different patterns of interaction socially and economically. And many of us right now, we're still working remotely. Look how we're connecting. And we are maintaining our spiritual connections online. The old ways worked well. That's what I'm saying, until they didn't. The current new ways of doing things will, in time as well, be replaced. And remember, it's okay to grieve. Grief is the natural human response to any change. We get to be kind to ourselves through the process, and then we must release our attachment to the old, the good, the bad, and even the ugly, and step into the new possibilities of today, friends, right here, right now. Incredible new potentiality, possibilities, endless, that are yours right here, right now. What are they? What's percolating? What's thinking for you? I could change this. I could accept this. I could reevaluate this. It's all possible. So in conclusion, I'm going to invite you, or maybe challenge you in an event. Hear this. We can be tempted to stay comfortable in our discomfort. The good, the bad, the ugly, reliving the experiences, the beliefs and the behaviors of our past. It's time to accept Spirit's invitation into a new unlimited possibility of the present. Let's set this intention together. Let's set the intention to shine a light of consciousness into our old, less than conscious habits of thinking and doing. And let's replace our old story of I've always been with the new script of up until now. So here it is, starting right now. We can honor and bless past patterns as we gently untangle ourselves from any attachment or resistance. We can forgive what needs forgiving, the good, the bad for the pain it triggered, the good for the impermanence, and even ourselves for our own judgments of it all. Today, trusting the truth of spirit in us, through us, as us, we step with courage and curiosity into a brand new now. Are you with me? Are you with me? Let me see you. Are you with me? Let me see it. Let me see it. Are you with me? And now we go forth and shine the love and light that we are. Peace and blessings, everyone. I love us. So let's open up the floor. If there are any questions or thoughts or anything that was provoked within you that you want clarity on or questions, what are you ready to let go of and what are you willing to bring in? It's time to let go of the past, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Were you surprised that I said we got to let go of the good sometimes too? Because we get patterns. Well, I'm just going to assume I nailed it then if there's no questions. Bravo, Reverend Barb. Well done. James.
Bravo, bravo, bravo,
Paul.
bravo. uh, okay. One question I wanted to ask is, should we just let go for the sake of letting go? Why should I let go the good? The good is good. It's serving me. Why do I let it go? I thought I should just, hold on to it.
That's a really good question. And so this is really about touching base with yourself. Does the good still work? And is it still working for the highest and best for you and those around you? And if it is still working, you don't need to, but it's always good to reevaluate. You know what I mean? Have you ever been in a situation where you've been in a group of people and you've always done something the same way, and then somebody says, "Oh, I do it that way." And it's more effective, it's more efficient, and maybe even more relevant. So you don't have to let go of the good if it's working, but it's always good to reevaluate.
Okay.
Does that help?
Okay, yeah, that clarifies it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because
I'm never letting go of chocolate.
It's just that, this I was feeling like I need to let go of these friends of mine, James and Patrick, so that I can look for better ones.
I would suggest they're a good bunch. Keep them and ask them who their new friends are. And maybe you can become their new friends' friends. And that's how consciousness expands and grows. Thank you, Paul. Michael,
Thank
your
you.
hand is up.
I was just trying to let go of Paul because he didn't mention me as among his good friends, but he,
I didn't want to point that up. I didn't want to bring it up because I'm letting those judgments go. I'm letting that judgment go.
Your talk brought me back to a lesson that we had with Reverend Connie, where she told us that it's never too late to have a beautiful childhood. And that got me thinking for so many. I still ponder over that statement around how we can always shift perspectives. And because it's a memory, and we can change it to a memory which never existed, or whatever it is, we can recreate it in whichever way that we want to have it. And by just that simple shift in perspective, I look at my childhood with through a very different lens. I remember the good times more than I remember the bad times now because of just that one shift in perspective. I remember a lot of the blessings that I received much more than what I thought were, things that hold me back in my current life. So I thank you for sharing that. I think it just deepens that commitment to looking at the past with a different lens. Thank you, Rev.
Thank you for receiving, Michael. I'm sorry if there's background noise here. They're doing some construction outside, but I have gone back and healed that little girl, and I have held that little girl that was wounded or that received something or felt like she had to run. I've gone back and held her and reminded her that she is safe, and that's the great benefit. So thank you for that reminder. And I love that Connie lives with us all the time. Christopher, your hand was up, my friend.
Yes, my hand was up. For me, the message resonates with some patterns in my life. I mean, letting go of the old. It helps. It helps us to move out of the comfort zone because as long as I'm in the comfort zone, I've realized that I'm kind of like stuck in a rut. And when I'm stuck in this rut, nothing happens. I cannot move forward. I'm just there in the comfort zone. I just go round and round and round. And so I'm realizing that I must step out of this comfort zone, out of this rut, and out of these old practices and things that have been serving me for so long, so that I can move into the bigger picture that I desire. Yeah, so that is it for me.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. That's magnificent. I love it. I love it. These are great questions and great sharing. I love when we get to come together in community and just be. I want to also invite Michelle right now, if there's no more questions, to share any announcements that may be happening. And if also percolating, if you are interested in a 2-minute miracle, practitioners stay in the house. And those of you who do want a 2-minute miracle can put your hand up, and Rev Pat, if you could set us up in that room. And then I'll just make sure that I ask perhaps Paul to close us out with a benediction when it's time. So stay with us. We're not leaving yet. We've still got lots to share. Go ahead, Michelle.
So next Friday will be the women's and men's groups. And the men meet on Froggy Friday, and the women have a link that I'll share. And Foundations is a class. We've revamped it, and it will begin on the 20th of March. And I'm having sci-fi day at my house on Wednesday this coming week. So you're all welcome to come watch science fiction with me.
Thank you for that, Michelle. That's fun. Is it every Wednesday?
Oh, no, it's just, this is spring break. So for my teacher friends, we could finally have time off.
Okay. Have you all had a good morning, evening, day?
Thank
Not
you.
you,
Yes.
Christine. Yes, okay. Are you inspired and uplifted?
Thank you.
That's what I
Yes.
love to hear and see. Yay. So Paul, I'm going to get you to close us out. And if you want treatment, put your hand up. Practitioners, just stay to see if anybody needs treatment and how we can use you in service. I'm so delighted to see you, Christopher, Lamech, Alfred, Lady T, Kareth, Rahema, and Jerry, Mathoni, Anastasia, Jerry, Patrick, beautiful Christine, Michelle, Claire, James, Paul, Michael, Nancy, Joy, McGrath, and Karen and Pat. On behalf of Reverend Gwen and I, we send our love. We appreciate you deeply. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
just
you.
an aside, Reverend. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
No, not worth it. Do prayer.
Everything is worth it anyway. Thank you. So join me as I take these few minutes to appreciate and really be grateful for this gathering, for the sharing that we have had together, for the expansion of consciousness, and even for this internet that has made this possible, and even this teaching that has made it possible for us to meet and grow together. I'm really grateful, and I'm grateful for the teaching that we have had today. And until we meet again, I know we are all guarded and guided perfectly. And I know all is well. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so
Tell
it
me what
is.
you want to say, beautiful
So it
Michelle.
is.
And so it is.
It is.